Going on YouTube. Look, I'm making this video. There are plenty of videos out here on how to install these headlights that I'm about to put on. They are I want to make sure I get the name right. So if you're considering getting these for your, I believe it's the 2.5 Gen Toyota Tundra, I got the Morimoto's, let me get the exact name right. They're the Morimoto XB LED headlights for the 2014 plus Tundra. And the reason why I'm upgrading is because I bought a cheap set, and I know you guys are already going to give me shit about this if you know any better. I bought a cheap set, what I thought was a good quality headlight on eBay, and those things didn't even last a year. Barely lasted a year. And I find myself having to replace them. If you like, I can give you an example of what happened. I looked all over the internet for a solution, and ultimately I just determined that the lights were just screwed up. So I went on a mountain trip camping, and we were playing football at night, and I had all my lights on, and you'll see how many lights I have. And that was the last photo I took before about a month later I realized my headlights weren't working right. So what's happening is when I turn on the high beam on the driver's side turns off, but when I'm driving with regular low beam, the high beam comes on, if it makes sense. It's flipping is basically what it's doing. The other side is working just fine. So I can't even aim the beams. They're not even working right. And I know it's daytime, so I can't really show you what I'm talking about, but try to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. So as you can see, I've already taken off my grill, and you can see why we were using my lights to play football at night, because I've got a light bar in the grill and I've got one in the bumper. Now, the headlights are on, low beam. As you can see, even though you can see some lights kind of peering through here, it's not doing anything. If you look at the beam on this side versus this side, you can't even see anything. This is overshooting or is brighter than this. So when I flip on the high beam, you can see with the high beam on, this light completely went out. So, and then this side, obviously the light beam is on. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I think this housing is just malfunctioning. There are no bulbs in here. This is straight LED light. So once this thing craps out, that's it. You just have to replace the whole thing. So like I said earlier, the whole bumper's off. I am prepared to, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work here, take this part off, or at least pull it away to get behind here and unscrew the bolt that's keeping this light in place. And this needs to come off. So I've already started the process, and the only reason I haven't shot that part of the video is because there are plenty of videos out there that show you how to remove headlights on a Tundra. I think most cars are a pain in the ass to take the whole thing out, but what pisses me off about this process is that you have to pretty much do this just to remove this, to change the bulb, because you can see, you can barely get your arms back there to change the bulb. Anyone that has done that understands the process. It's a pain in the ass. Nonetheless, that is not the case with these. These are LED lights. This is not a bulb. This is just a board with the LED lights soldered on. And once this thing goes kaput, you have to replace the whole thing. And if you want to see the new headlights, that's these here. These lights, the reason I went with them is, one, they come with a 5-year warranty. Unlike these, and this is what I wanted to make a point of saying, 90 days. I should have known better. 90 days with the price. I believe I paid $500 for the set. Take my advice. You get what you pay for. That's what I wanted to say. You get what you pay for. And what I got was a cheap ass headlight, which looks great, only lasted not even a year, which didn't matter because it would have been right after the warranty if it was a year warranty, but it was only 90 days. So I bought trash is what I did. And I should have just paid the double money and went ahead and went with these. 5-year warranty plus sequential turning signal. These particular ones are white LED instead of amber daytime running lights. That matches the light bar that I have on the top of the truck here, because this is white. I can actually change this to amber if I want it, but I like white LED. So that matches that. The thing is, the way these lights turn on. You need to see the video on these. They turn on one by one. It's like it goes through the sequence when they turn on. When you use the turn signal, these turn amber and do the little sequential, which will match my side view mirrors, my Chevy quote unquote GM side mirrors, and I'll show you all of this when I finally get everything installed. But these lights online got high reviews, very good warranty, and I anticipate these will last a long time because I paid the price. And on top of that, I'm in Mexico. I paid a lot more than I should have for these because I had to pay the shipping and the import tax. But I needed a new headlight. Driving here in some areas is just too dark and I needed lights. So anyway, enough said, let's start the process. So right now I have both of the old headlights removed and switched. Now, the reason I did this was just a process of elimination to see if the housing that I said was screwed up is screwed up. So let me show you what I'm talking about. What I'm gonna do is turn on the headlights. Headlights are on. Now, this is supposed to be the passenger side. Headlights working just fine. This is the one that was working appropriately. This is the driver's side on the other side. And again, as you can see, the lights are barely coming through the top and the high beam is on. But what's interesting, now that I flipped them, is when I turn the high beam on, this one works appropriately again. The high beam comes on, the top lights turn off. This actually turned off and the high beam stayed on. So obviously this housing is all screwed up. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. Probably chunk them. But this was my process of elimination before I went through the whole process of installing the new ones. Now let's get the new ones in. Got the left one sitting in place. Everything is plugged in. I just need to run the wire to the fuse, which is gonna be a problem. Not problem, but you know, you see my mess here, so I wanna have fun trying to figure that out. But I wanted to take a moment to show you that this is very easy to install as far as plug and play goes. Now, it gets a little confusing if you have upgraded or newer Tundra, meaning you had stock lights that had LED daytime running lights, stuff like that, because then your light options, you have to buy certain harnesses. If you didn't have daytime running lights versus daytime running lights, which mine did. I did not have LED daytime running lights. I only had amber regular daytime running lights. So it's very plug and play. The only thing that's a little different is this wire here that's going to go to the fuse box, which I have to do here in a second. But just wanted to take an opportunity to show you that all these plugs that came off the OEM and my aftermarket are very plug and play. You just pop them right in here. There's one little spot, this spot right here, not the OEM plug here, but this one on the left is for the fuse that runs to the fuse box. One thing I absolutely love, and I want to point this out about these headlights, is my aftermarket lights. I could not use the adjustable control inside the panel, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is this lever right here. Totally useless with my other lights. Now I get that function back by plugging it into here, and I am able to aim my beams up and down from within the cab instead of going in here and painstakingly adjusting. So just wanted to take a pause for a minute. I cannot wait to get these installed. I honestly like the way this looks much better than those. Into a little hiccup here. So both these lights tap into, I believe it's the daytime running light fuse. So the issue that I'm running into is my hood bulge is also tapped into the same fuse. You have to excuse me if I'm looking at myself. I don't normally shoot for YouTube, so I'm used to looking at myself, and obviously it looks like I'm looking in a different direction, but I should be looking at the camera. So anyway, so what I'm gonna do first before I tap into the same line that my daytime running light bar is running into, I'm going to check to make sure the lights are functioning correctly before I make any alterations. So that's what we're gonna do first. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So what I need to do is lift this up. There's such a mess here. And this is organized. Trust me, this was a lot worse. But let me see if I can tap this. See if I can replace. So if you can see back here where my finger is, this is for my light bar and the bulge. I'm gonna pull that. And this is the headlight fuse, and I'm going to place that one in there. I may have to pause this to do this because this is way too difficult right now. Yeah, I'm gonna pause it. So right now I have the headlight fuse in place and the lights are all plugged in, not completely installed, but I want to check the functionality and see if these are working correctly. Here we go. All right, let's start the truck. Let's turn the headlights on. And so far, so good. Now let's go back and see, and then those of you guys, I brought up the side mirrors, and watch this. Let's turn on the high beams. It looks like the high beams are working. Now let's use the turn signal, which I'm very excited about.
You can zip tie along the side of the
Turn signal's on. And just to show you what the headlight, my rear view mirrors or side view mirrors look like. Now this is blinking. And maybe I need to double check this, but I thought these were sequential. I could be wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted that, but I believe these were supposed to be sequential. Either way, I like this the way they are. Let's use the other side. And this is what I do like about it. They go from amber to LED. You can see how the sequential. So it looks like they're functioning well. And I'm going to do the hazards just to double check to make sure the hazards are working great. And looks like the hazards are working correctly. Now I'm starting to wonder if this was the highlight, right? High beam right here. Let me turn the high beam back on to double check. Turn the hazards off. So high beam is back on again. Yes. So I can see here that this turned on. Actually, no, that's the LED now. I'm wondering if the LED or the high beam is working correctly.
It doesn't look right. Let's see what we can do.
Let's see. So I'm not seeing a difference in the high beam. I don't know if it changes. Let me put my phone down and see if this works. So I had to put my camera down and point it at the lights and flash the brights. Turn the brights on and then flash them to discover that in the headlight, this light right here is actually the high beam. Both sides, the inner light. This is the only light that was turning on and off, or at least brightening as I flickered it. So just like my old ones had the high beam under here, so I guess I just expected the same thing, but nonetheless, that wasn't the case. My only regret, I was led to believe that these daytime running lights here, which I need to test real quick. Let me go back and test that. Okay, that is one thing I did fail to test, is the daytime running lights. And yes, I love it. Right around this outside. Love it. So let me turn the turn signal on. Maybe it's sequential this time. I don't know. We'll check. So my sequential, no, it blinks. And maybe I need to double check that to see. Let me check my backlights to make sure. Now it's not blinking crazy, which means there's a fuse resistor that works along with my taillights. Because I had some other lights before and you could hear the loud blinking like one of the lights were out. But they work in sequence with one another. Everything seems to be working fine. But I'm gonna double check this and make sure this is meant to be this way and not sequential. I'm almost certain it was supposed to be, but nonetheless, I'm very happy with the results so far. Everything seems to be working fine. And I will come back here after I finish installing everything. You can see the difference. Turn signal on, daytime running lights. And like I said, when I get this tapped in here, this is going to look nice with this light bar on at the same time. Right, after watching the video, I discovered there is a plug that is part of the harness. You either plug it in if you want it blinking as a regular turn signal, or if you unplug it, which is what I want, because it goes right along with my tow mirrors. Look at that. Is that not sexy or what? I absolutely love that. And just a process of elimination to make sure it's still compatible with my tail lights. It is working perfectly. I absolutely love it. See the difference? I have the left turn signal, and I'm going to show you what I did. So if you do buy these lights, how to turn these from sequential to blinking. So if you look at the connections, there is this plug, and they're both running into the headlight. I want to make a point here, by the way. Everything is coming out this spot. Unlike others that have you pulling the plugs all the way over here, all in different locations, and you have everything spread out, where everything in this light is coming from one location. Just wanted to point that out. I thought that was very cool and very organized. This plug right here, which already comes plugged in together, so you probably would have never thought twice about it. If you unplug this, it will turn the lights sequential. So this was really just an option for you. If you decide you want blinking instead of sequential, then you can do that. But if you unplug this, that simply makes it sequential versus blinking. And I want sequential. As I told you before, my tow mirrors do that, and I think it's perfect. So these lights, I'm already in love with them, and I hadn't even finished installing them because I love the fact that there's white LED daytime running lights within the housing itself, which will go great with my bulge up here if you can see it. And I have the option to turn these amber, but I want all LED. So perfect for this. These lights, I'm loving them. And I said this earlier, this is another reason why I'm loving them. I have control again of my beam going up and down inside the truck. So we're going to finish this installation, and I'm going to show you what all of this looks like when it's finally done. But first thing I got to do is, since my daytime hood bulge light runs on the DRL fuse spot, I'm gonna have to tap them into the same one and put it all in one. So this is gonna take me a minute, but I'll be back. Okay, so what we have here on the right is the fuse for the bulge, and this is for the headlights. So what I'm gonna do, since this one is pretty beat up, I'm going to strip this one and tap it into this one, and it'll go in the spot that they both would have shared, if you will. So 2 into 1. So once I get that done, we'll test it out and go from there. Okay, so here's what I did. I cut the previous fuse off, which had a 10 and a 5 in it, and used, I forget the name of this little thing, where I tapped this wire that goes to the bulge, and this one for the headlights, I tapped that into here. So I made that one. Now all the way over here, which I would have done something different, except I didn't have the little tubes that you clamp on each end for each wire. I did not have that, so I soldered it, which, to be honest with you, I like soldering better anyway. And I'm gonna cover it with this shrink wrap. But before I do that, I want to tap this in here and make sure everything is working before I put it all back together. So here we go. So this is gonna be a little difficult with both hands, so I'm gonna have to do it or show you where this goes in the instructions. It says right here, I can't get it to focus. There you go. You put the fuse right behind this 7.5 right there. Since I can't do it while holding the camera, I'm gonna go ahead and do it now, and then I'll show you. Okay, it's in place. So let me make sure this isn't touching anything, and it's cool. It is. It's not tugging, so it should be good right there. And let's test everything out. All right, let's check the daytime running lights. Actually, turn signal's on, which obviously that's working. All right, let's check the daytime running lights. Okay, so right now this side is not on. Oh, I didn't tap the fuse. Okay, so if you noticed in the video, this daytime running light was not on, and that's because I did not connect the fuse to this light. This one was connected, this wasn't, and I had to disconnect it so I had more wiggle room to maneuver this wire, or the wire that's attached to it. So let's try that again. Let's start this bad boy. Hey, Sadie. All right, let's check the daytime running lights. Good. And good. Love it. All right, let's check the turn signals. Left one is good, sequential, just like I wanted it, almost in unison. Right side. Same thing. I said unison, almost in sync. Now let's turn on the headlights. Headlights are, oh my God. This, I can tell you now, just looking at this lens, looks so much clearer than these down here. I can't wait for it to get dark so I can get a good look at what these lenses look like. So headlights are working fine. And before we go any further, let's check the C, and the bulge is looking good. This is exactly what I wanted right here. I wanted the daytime running lights to be white LED. You can see with the headlights on, these lights are on during the day. So look at this. I know that's a spoiler. Should look what see what it looks like after everything is connected and put back together. But this is exactly what I wanted. And I'm very happy, even though I overpaid, I'm glad I got rid of those and switched to these. Last but not least, let's try the brights. So, from what I'm gathering, and it's hard for me to tell if the brights are actually working. As I said before, I believe it was this light that was the bright. Because all three of them do run. And I guess only one of them actually gets brighter when the bright comes on, or when you put the high beams on. So I'm gonna be testing this out a little bit more and get you a better picture of how that works. But so far, oh man, it looks beautiful. It's time to put this thing back together. All right, got everything back together, nice and neat. Please don't laugh. Close the hood and look. This thing, oh, you know what? I'm already loving the look. It looks so much better. This is more of the color scheme that I go with anyway. Just the blacked out lens, very little, you know, like a black carbon fiber color instead of the white and the amber. A lot of amber and clear lens in here, whereas this is just more of what I'm looking for. That's why, you know, everything's either blacked out or carbon fiber, gray, you know what I mean? So it looks so much better. I'm very happy with the results, but let's turn it all on and see what it looks like. All right, we'll leave everything off for the daytime running lights. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm loving it. I am loving it. So let's turn on the headlights. Oh yeah. This is what I was going for. Last test, let's do the turn signals. Again, in sync, sequential. I love it, I love it. That is awesome. I couldn't be happier with the results. I'm glad that the light went out because it gave me an excuse to upgrade to something that's a much better lens. better looking lens, higher quality lens, better warranty. I expect these things to last a lot longer than these pieces of junk. I don't remember the names of them, but be wary of buying stuff on eBay. You're gonna get what you pay for. I'm sure some cheap product from China. I mean, with a 90-day warranty, it's almost like they knew it wasn't gonna last very long. So I should have known better. $500 down the drain. I mean, it was a hell of a deal. I liked the lens. I liked the look. That's why I went with it. And I really, and the only reason I changed them is because one of them went out. Otherwise, I would have been perfectly happy with them. They were great. However, these, after putting them in, just look so much better, especially with the color that I'm going with. You know, I got black and gray all over the place. So when it starts getting dark, I'm going to test these lights out and give you guys an update in the same video. I'm going to attach it to this video because I think we're going to go out to eat tonight. And I want to test these lights out. I'm anxious. For over a month now, I've been driving with a broken lens, and it's annoying. One, the light was going into the back of people's cars, and I had no way to control it. And two, obviously it wasn't functioning correctly. So at the end of this video, when it gets dark, I'm gonna have all the lights on, including the light bars, and you'll see exactly what this thing looks like. I can't wait. Hey y'all, it's dark outside. Got the truck all nice and clean. Lights are fully installed and functioning. And I'm gonna do a demonstration, a demonstration of the lights. First thing we're gonna do is turn off the lights. Unlock. As you can see, the headlights turn on. Oh, I just discovered after reviewing the video that these lights, and I saw it in the demonstration video before I bought them, that these come on like in a sequence. And I kept trying to catch it on video and I never caught it or saw it like when I would turn the lights on until I started recording and I actually see that. That is freaking cool. So just so you know what the sequence of events was, I unlocked my truck, started the ignition. Obviously it was just on the daytime running lights and I chose the white ones, not the amber. And I did the turn signals, which are sequential to my rear view or side view mirrors. Then I turned on the parking lights. Then I turned on the headlights, turned on the brights, and then turned everything off, just so you know the sequence of events in that video. But let me tell you something. After putting them in, like I said, I recorded this 2 weeks later, so I may have said this in another video. These are the old lights. Just to give you a side-by-side comparison. These are the old lights, these are the new ones. You see I have a gray and black scheme going on with some red trim. This by far looks way better on my truck than this did. And make no mistake, I like these lights and I would not have replaced them if they didn't malfunction. So these are trash. One of them works. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but that concludes my video. I hope this, if you are looking to purchase these lights, I hope this video helps in your decision. I personally say, get them. I'm not even kidding you. I really think these lights are huge. And let me tell you something. I know we all purchase things for our trucks at the cost of whatever we can afford at the time. But make no mistake, headlights are worth the investment up front. These pieces of junk came with a 90-day warranty, didn't even last a year, at least one of them didn't. These come with a 5-year warranty. and they look amazing. I mean, they look way better than this. So anyway, that concludes my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what other stuff I plan to do to this truck, but whatever it is I do, I'll record it and put it on here. I've had people ask me questions about other things, that, including this light, bulge light that I put in here. But if you have any other questions, shoot me messages in the comment section. Like and follow if you feel the need to. But thank you for watching the video. Y'all have a good night.